Hello, how are you today? It's my pleasure for being here, participating in Flip Tech 2020 to share the lesson Nearpod for Starters. And I would like to start saying thank you to Matthew and all involved people in the organization of this Congress that will let us, teachers, to learn more and have more ideas um, related with online education to help our students to have a better experience in this pandemic era. Um, I am Monica Malui. I am from Mexico, from Monterrey, Mexico, located in the north of the country. I teach history and politics related classes in one of the high school campuses from Tecnológico de Monterrey. This institution has more than 30 campuses all around the country, and I work in a specific or at Campus Cumbres. It's in the west side of Monterrey. We are surrounded by mountains. It's a really beautiful campus. I really enjoy my job. I really miss to be there in the school and with my students, but that is our reality now, no? And as is obvious, you may notice, English is not my mother tongue, so I expect to this video to be self-explaining enough to help you to create your own lesson in Nearpod step by step. Okay, so with this introduction, now let's move on to start our today's practice. The objective today is to show you this, how to add content and how to add interactive activities in your Nearpod lesson. This here is my Nearpod panel. So I have different presentations here, since this is a platform that I really like to use in my classes to engage my students in to help them to participate and get fun during the classes, during the lectures. Here in the left, I have my type of user is a university user. Nevertheless, for the purpose of this lesson, I'm going to use a different account, a free one, to let you know the basic features that are a lot and how easy it is to use and create a lesson on Nearpod. Okay, so if you are new in Nearpod, let's start by creating your account, clicking here and sign up for free. You can use your Google or Microsoft Office account, or fill out these spaces with your name, school, email, and password to create your account. I'm going to this space. I'm sorry. This space in the right is for students to log into the lesson. This code must be uh, given by you to your students by Google Classroom or by the LMS that you use in your classes. So if you are new, pause this video, create your account, and then play to move on to the next instruction. Going to log in. This is an empty account that I created for the purpose of this lesson. So what we're going to do is to create a new lesson. There are three different ways of adding content in Nearpod. Let's start by using the resources that you already have in your computer or in your drive. In this case, I'm going to start uploading a PowerPoint presentation. Let's give some minutes for the platform to process the file. You could also upload PDF documents or images into your lesson. and getting those files from your computer or from your drive as well. It takes some minutes, 1 or 2, no more, for the file to process. If the file is heavier, more the time that it will take. I'm going to take advantage to change the title. It's very easy. Just click over the title and change the name. You have these two buttons at the slide. The purpose is the same. You can click here or here, and this is the additional kind of content that you could add to your presentations. You can add video simulations with content, BBC videos, your account, Twitter live stream. I'm going to use different examples in the creation of this presentation. You can follow me, and you can also pause and try everything, click, experiment, nothing happens. It is very easy to add and to delete content, and nothing will break up, nothing will break if you move and you practice and practice. The more practice, the more that you are going to learn about Nearpod. Maybe it's my internet. Normally, it takes less time for the file to upload. Let's. Meanwhile, I'm going to start adding additional content. I have this web page here. The only thing I'm going to do is to copy and paste the link. You can test it to check if it works, okay? And then save. For them, I will also, I use this tool of field trips, since in my history classes or in my political classes when we are talking about different places in the world, it's very interesting for the students to do a virtual visit to that place that we are talking about. So this is also a feature that I recommend you a lot to make your presentation even more interesting. So now we have here the file that I uploaded and the slides that I added directly on Nearpod. If you want to change the order, it's easier as dragging and dropping, okay? Later, we're going to review the lesson to check how the students see the web content and the field trip. I'm going to add some images also from my computer to show you a different feature. You can select different files, and Nearpod will ask if you want to separate them, as in this case, or if you prefer to create a slideshow. Okay, I'm going to use both to show you how is one and the other one. Okay, I will suppose that I want to use this activity, these images, for a student's activity. So I need instructions. So I can add content directly in Nearpod, creating a slide. Write my title, and I'm going to add text here. You could also add video, images, or GIFs. Mark the differences in the second image. So you had these options here to choose your format, to choose your theme. Choose one and save it. I'm going to move the instructions before the image. As you observe, what I asked my students to do is to draw the differences in the second image. So it is important to convert the image to draw it, to let the students do that mark. Okay. Now, if you want only the activity slide, it is easy to delete the one that you don't want. Okay, this is that. And I'm going to relocate. Okay, instructions before the image, the slideshow, the activity, draw it here, and then the bibliography. So, summarizing at this moment, what we had done is adding content from your resources in your computer or from your drive, and adding content for directly in Nearpod. There is a third way, personally is my favorite one, that is adding or creating content in Google Slides. Okay, so how to do this? You have to open in your drive a new and create a new file in Google Slides, and then in your menu locate this button called add-ons. Okay, find Nearpod and ask to or give permission for the installation. Since I already installed it, I must just open it for the features to appear in the right menu. Okay. One huge advantage of using a Nearpod lesson is that you can combine, you can mix, take advantage of both the design themes and features of Google Slides and the features of Nearpod. Another huge advantage is that you can edit the presentation content and activities anytime you want, a difference from the uploaded or your own resources file. If you submit a slide or a document in Nearpod, you cannot edit the content of the slide in Nearpod. So it's easier for me to create and to edit and move my lesson in Google Drive, add the features here, and then save it in Nearpod. Let's see an example. I have the web page that I just added in my presentation. So I want, let's think that I want to ask my students to read the content and then discuss about it. The only thing that I have to do, this is a great tool to let our students express their ideas. Say, so now I have my presentation, I have the activity. Now that I am ready, the only thing that I have to do is save and go to Nearpod. I'm going to find my presentation there, and I can present the presentation with my students. Okay, so how to add content? One, using your own resources. Two, directly on Nearpod. Three, using Google Slides. I invite you to take some minutes, pause the video, take some minutes and practice, check the other features of content, create your test or a presentation that you would like to use in your classes, and then come back to this video to go to the most exciting part, that is creating interactive activities. Okay, now that you have your lessons content, it is time to enrich it with interactive and dynamic activities. Let's see how. We open the presentation we're working with, and then click on Add Slide and Activities. Here you can observe all the options that you can have. If you want to gamify your class, you can use Time to Climb to create a race among your students by answering them multiple choice questions. If you want to evaluate them, you can add open-ended questions or quizzes. If you want to check their opinions, their thoughts, or start a debate, you could start with a poll, for example, or create a collaborate board. I will make some examples here. Feel free to choose different examples or to pause the video and keep identifying and keep adding different activities into your lesson. In this case, I'm going to start with a poll. One of the first slides is about what is history. So let's suppose that I want to get my students' opinion about history. I think that history, that learning about history is, for me, it is awesome. It's interesting, or is boring, or maybe useful, or useless. Or add all the answers that you want. It also may depend on the size of your group. You can also add some media as video or audio and add a timer. Just some few seconds to avoid overthinking is okay. And save. So drag, okay, and drop, just as we did in the with the count. Okay. The second activity that I'm going to show you is the quiz. Let's create a quiz to evaluate our students' knowledge. So, just as an example, let's have an easy question. What is this course about? Be aware of marking the correct answer or the correct answers if there are different correct options. Okay, you can add question, suppose that it's a true or false. You can duplicate, you can delete. Once that you have finished, just click save. If instead of evaluating and assessing your students, you want to gamify, you can just convert the quiz into time to climb activity. In order to have both options, I'm going to copy this one. And this quiz will be converted into time to climb. So now I have the quiz and I also have the game. Okay. Mm, other choice that you can do to gamify your class is this one of matching pairs. Let's do some examples. Students could match the pairs using words, concepts, or images. So, for example, just search the image in Google, just click over it and say, I have my first pair. Let's add another one. You can add more pairs if you are a math teacher. You can also add formulas in math symbols, not my case. Once you have finished, just click done and you have here the pairs that students can play with in the activity. Okay, so just as we did in the adding content, um, play with Nearpod. Feel free of testing all these kind of activities and adding all the activities that you want for your lesson. Remember, practice is important to master Nearpod. Well, now that you have content and activities in your lesson and this is ready, the only thing to do is to save and exit. And your lesson is going to be ready for you to share it with your students. You can share it in two ways. One, through a live lesson guided by you, or the student pays lesson to let your students to move on, go back, being answering the quizzes, resolving the activities at their own pace. In both cases, the results of the quizzes, of the polls, etc., are going to appear in your reports. Okay, later we're going to see how the reports appear. Well, let's try with the live lesson. Just press and click. In the code will appear in your screen. You can share it with your students, projecting it in your class, in your screen, by sharing it, this code by email, through the links, social media, Google Classroom, Remind, Microsoft Teams, and so on. Okay? Here you can observe the number of students that are connected. You can hide in any moment the student names to take to protect their privacy, and this will be helpful for them to have to feel safe when they share their opinions. For example, so this will be the poll. Once that you click on start, the poll will appear in the students' screens. They have the timer here, and you can check the results in this pie chart or here, where the numbers will be changing according the students' answers. Here we have the example of the added web page. The students must click here in the bottom to open the web page and navigate there. Okay, give them some time to read, then you can continue with the presentation. This is the example what the students can see in their virtual visit. Give them again some minutes to let them to navigate, to move, Believe me, they enjoy a lot, like using their devices to take a work in their visit. Here are the original slides. Here I have the instruction, the slide that I added in Nearpod. Here I have the images that I uploaded. If you choose the slideshow, the image will appear in this way. If you prefer the images separately, it will appear like this. In this case, I have the draw image. The students can open the image and mark them. Then it's time for the quiz. Again, you can write the student's name. You can share the results at the end, and you can observe your students' results at your screen, in your screen. This is the time to climb activity. You can choose different scenarios. Once a student connected, you can start the activity, and you are going to observe like these characters ready for their race to arrive to the camp. It's pretty fun. Match the pair. Students can move and match the pairs. You can observe the results, the number of tries per students, and that's all. Okay. Once you finish the presentation, you can go to the reports section to get the results of quizzes of collaboration and plan your next classes, or use their participation or their quizzes for students' evaluation. Okay, I'm going to move to my university user to show you how the reports appear. Okay, here you're going to observe the, the presentations that I have. If I click, when I can open a specific session, have here how many students participated. In this case are the self-paced lessons. In this case were online. So I have the summary. You can check what my students answered to each one of the questions. In the case of the draw activity, I can see the image. In this case, as I asked my students to draw over this map in the Iron Curtain to check the imaginary Iron Curtain to check if they understood or know this concept. And in collaboration, I can check all the comments or the posts of my students to check their opinions, their ideas, how elaborate they are or how simple they are, and help them into the continuous improvement. I expect I could have offered you new ideas, new, and that this will be can be useful for your classes. If you have doubts, I expect I'll be wearing you in the Zoom session on next Monday. And always you can also visit in Nearpod the teacher resources section to attend webinars or to read these lessons, the written ask questions and so on, to learn more about this wonderful tool that is Nearpod. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your for listening to me, for your patience. If you watch all the video, and I will be glad to see you in the Zoom session. Thank you. Bye bye.